Do our thoughts actually create our world? Hey guys, it's John sitting here in the studio. My coffee is done for the day, so I am into my day and making videos for you guys. I often talk about how our thoughts are creative. And what if the chaos in the world isn't out there, but it starts with inside of us? Let's talk about this because a lot of people question this idea that our thoughts are creative. And the one thing I'd say is you find this in all of the ancient faiths. You find this concept out there. Some of them are more overt and say it openly. Others say it with less public sort of saying of it, but it's implied. So let's find out. That the peace in you does create the world around you. It does at least shape it. So is the world a mirror of your mind? Let's go on a small journey here through the world's sacred teachings and see how they all point to one truth. Let's just simply dive into this. The oldest documented religion in the world is Hinduism. And in the 5th to 2nd century BCE, the Bhagavad Gita said, "A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean can alone achieve peace." In other words, when you're not being affected by the stimulus and you are being the calm within, you can achieve the peace without. Buddhism talks about we are what we think, all that we are arises from our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. That's from the Dhammapada. When you look at this is a very clear idea that our thoughts are creating our inner being, what we're believing about the now. Their thoughts are creating the outer experience. And that's very true because negative people always see a negative world because they believe it, and the world gives them that negative view. Now, Judaism is a very interesting one because Judaism, they aren't very overt in saying that your inner peace will give it to you, but because Judaism itself is really a religion based upon a subject of God, an outer external God. And in the 6th century BCE, the Torah says, "I will give peace in the land, and you shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid." Basically, it's saying the external God is giving you this inner peace for you to not need to be afraid of anything because your inner peace is part of the gift that God is giving you. So the inner peace of Judaism, and that was in Leviticus, that inner peace is what is something that is a gift from God. The later writings of Judaism, the 4th century, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. That's Proverbs. This concept of guarding your heart, what is in your heart, your belief, your ideas, your truth. It is the wellspring of life. In other words, you staying true to who you are is creating this outer expression of your life that is a reflection. So, but it's not overtly said within Judaism. In Christianity, 1st century, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. In other words, what's coming out of you is what you're holding in your heart. That's from the book of Luke. What you're holding in your heart is coming out of your mouth. And that expression that comes out of your mouth is creative. Yeah. In Islam, indeed, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find peace. Allah being God, God being the benevolent God, the loving God. People will often argue that the God of Islam is not a benevolent God. But the God of Islam is the same as it is in Christianity and Judaism. They're all part of the same Abrahamic line. And Islam believes that both Christians and Jews are all going to go to the same heaven they do because they're all praying to the same God. So in remembrance, in keeping our mind on the love of God, our hearts find peace. That is from the Quran. In Sikhism, when the mind is clean, the world appears clean. They're literally saying when you keep your thoughts pure and clean and easy and in that inner peace, the world around you reflects that idea. And in Taoism, which is, the way, which is what Joshua called his way, right? If there is peace in your heart, there will be harmony in the home. If there's harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. It literally is saying you keep your peace in your heart, your inner peace creates this outer reflection. And the more people who do that in their home, it affects the entire nation. So this is a beautiful statement because it's not only showing that your reflection of your inner peace is reflected outwardly, but it affects the people around you, affects the world around you. You know, an indigenous African proverb, which came from oral traditions predating written text, is when there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you. And this is a traditional belief. You know, when there is no enemy within, the enemies outside can't hurt you. Nothing can harm you because anything that seems contrary outside of you is moot if you have that inner peace, if you have that inner feeling. The Baha'i faith says, let your vision be world embracing rather than confined to your own self, which is beautiful if you think about coming off of the African proverb, you know, let your vision be world embracing, embrace the world with love and compassion. And rather than confining yourself to only protecting yourself, it's a matter of being and believing that you're embracing the entire experience as one so that it can be then shown to you. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com. So why does this matter now? If you want a more loving world, become a more loving presence. Be the change you want to see in the world. The world doesn't change by force. It transforms by what you're creating within inside you, the love that you choose to be and let flow from you. Every one of these teachings we just talked about, every one of these quotes I just said from all these different points of view, all starts with you. And it all starts with you being the starting point of peace, you being the inner peace that reflects without. Joshua said the kingdom of heaven is within you. And the path or the way was to be the presence, be love, and take responsibility for being love, to literally put out into the world the expression of love and compassion. Be the inner peace first so that the outer world can reflect it. You know, what you think you become, you create your world. As a man thinketh, so is he. It always comes back to this idea that this choice within yourself of the present moment and the inner peace and the love and compassion is what is reflected back to you. In the beginning is the Word was with God, the Word was God. Our words, thoughts, and beliefs get reflected in the image of God around us. And we are created in God's image. So the reflection we're seeing is a reflection of our inner being. And that inner being is the peace that you can put into the world. So wherever you are in your life, ask yourself, am I being the inner peace? Am I being the love and compassion outwardly instead of cultivating it inwardly toward myself, looking for the next thing I can find on Amazon or the next greatest car or whatever? You can't change the world. You can bring peace to your next thought, to your next word, to your next breath. And if you simply do that, focus on you creating this one beautiful, loving moment that gets expressed outwardly, then the world around you changes because you are being the thing that you're putting in front of the mirror of the world. Be the beautiful thing in the mirror. You know, and understand you don't have to do this alone. You can share this message with other people. You can tell people how great they are. You can help them be more loving and more caring. And the world gets changed one person at a time. And the first person it starts with is you. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.